Have you ever talked with someone who seemed hostile and was trying to power you over? You began with harsh words and an irritating tone. Counting every word you say as if it were makes a simple problem more difficult. Their only goal is to push you to the edge. It's straightforward to give in at this point. Swept up in a storm of feelings, replying with angry words, and you end up changing into someone you didn't want to be. But what if there's a stoicism that gives us tools for not only a different, smarter, quieter way of life, to keep things real and to guide the talk in a way that makes them consider the absurdity of their actions? Today we will examine 6 examples. There are powerful ways to communicate with someone that can help you maintain your composure while gently making the attacker feel uncomfortable. As you watch this video, you might feel a twinge of guilt for how mean they were. Remember those tense moments when you felt trapped? When you feel stressed or on the verge of losing control, you can use these techniques. By maintaining Stoic values, you can overcome even the most challenging situations. Stay cool and steer the conversation gently. Here are some ways to do that. Examine your personal experiences to understand the effectiveness of Stoic advice in practical situations. Investigate number 1 and uncover the hidden assumptions. We frequently encounter individuals in our daily lives who provoke thought, always through direct conflict, but sometimes through questions that are full of subtle. In some ways, these questions can feel like traps that force us to agree with beliefs that aren't there. Imagine a seller asking you if you prefer leather or cloth seats. They ask if you want to buy the car before doing so. This is called assuming. The sale is a subtle way to communicate, assuming that the other person agrees. Unconsciously, we react to an idea or view that they haven't necessarily confirmed. We run the risk of adhering to an idea that isn't truly ours, realizing that ours and slowly losing our sense of self-direction. For a Stoic, breaking these unspoken rules isn't just a way to avoid useless situations. It's not just a fight, but also a method to maintain clarity, preserve composure, and avoid conflict. To deal with negative feelings, Stoicism teaches us to keep our responses in check. Epictetus once asserted that maintaining tranquility amidst challenging circumstances is crucial. What counts is not what happens to you, but how you respond to it. It's how we respond that defines us. When someone asks us a question, our self-control and the peace of our soul come into play. Identifying the assumption is the first step in achieving secret goals. Let's say you're in a meeting. Unexpectedly, a colleague inquires, "Would you prefer to adopt the strategy that everyone else has selected?" Someone else disagrees or thinks we should try a different direction. The question seems to offer a choice, but actually implies that you would rather have a dislike. If you answer without giving it much thought, you might fall into a trap. In this situation, a Stoic would subtly communicate that they are deciding without any support. Pause and consider what they aren't expressing, which clearly indicates their disagreement. The assumption is that instead of getting upset, you could say, "I didn't know." Many individuals expressed opposition to this method. Has anyone said anything different? That I might have missed this answer at the same time problems. When someone asks a question, the assumption steers the conversation in a more balanced direction. Stoics would react by having a secret plan and not answering directly. With grace, Sid stepped away from a pointless fight. Imagine seeing an old friend. Someone asks, "Are you still holding on to those strange ideas?" This question carries an implication, belief that your ideas are strange and that you're sticking to them even though opposition. Don't fight back. Instead, stay calm and reply. It appears that you find these ideas peculiar. I'd love to hear why. Instead of rejecting your views or agreeing with what they say, ask for a real understanding. This method of non-confrontational trade helps you stay calm and demonstrates your resistance to accepting ideas that others attempt to impose upon you. Identifying hidden assumptions is the skill of maintaining your position without adding unnecessary information. Confrontation. A Stoic understands that disagreements lead to negative emotions. Resentment. If someone attempts to provoke us into a conflict, we have the ability to walk away. Avoiding conflict and maintaining a calm demeanor is crucial. For mental peace, think of a family fight where someone might say, "So, if you believe you are more knowledgeable than everyone else present, this question reveals your arrogance, part that could cause trouble if you answer too quickly." In this case, a Stoic would be cool and answer, "I don't know everything, but I'd love to hear what you have to say." Everyone has their own point of view, and this answer does not contradict your perspective or reveal the secret. Assumption. Showing respect for other people's views and reducing tension in the end by deciding to. As part of a core lesson on how to find and break through hidden beliefs, Stoicism is about being honest and staying in touch with our true selves. When we react quietly, we not only show other people that while we are not easily moved, we also stand by our own integrity and stay true to. We find ourselves under pressure from external sources in every conversation. When people try to force their ideas on you by making assumptions about you, remember that you are free to hold your own. The Stoic way of life is to stand your ground and say what you think without getting into fights. Life, keep your peace. Stand strong in your views and always speak out. Being honest about these secret assumptions is not a way to defend yourself, but a way to keep your heart strong is to not let outside assumptions affect you. If you hold this attitude, it will cloud your view of the truth. Protect your peace, but also ask the other person to think again. Number 2, get out of the trap by asking questions that lead to deeper talks. When you uncover the assumptions concealed in someone's words, they become skewed. I have taken the first step to maintain composure and prevent any psychological distress. Traps, but sometimes it's not enough to just be aware of these assumptions. If you say something enough, some people will directly change what you said to make a new point. Thus, we must confront, "So what are you saying trap with?" To keep your cool, this strategy includes changing your words, oversimplifying them, or embellishing your point in a way that will most likely upset a conservative. But they won't put up a defense right away. Instead, they will turn down the skewed perception and gently stress their real position. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, once said, "We are what we think." Although we cannot alter the external environment, we have the ability to make choices. The way we deal with them makes us think of our inner. We have the strength to understand that our reactions matter more than what other people say. A Stoic won't lose control in the "so what are you saying" trap, or get defensive. Instead, they work on controlling their own behavior and making their before taking a stance and reiterating their true goals. They should first be aware of the trap. Stay calm, as you can tell when someone begins with "so." It usually indicates an attempt to alter the meaning of your words. For instance, if you use the phrase "I believe," to understand that sometimes hard work isn't enough, they might twist it too, so you're saying that hard work is. This oversimplification is useless because it not only changes your point of view, makes you feel anxious, and forces you to explain something new. In this instance, it was never intended. Consider your own thoughts. Why is this person twisting my words? Are they trying to see how much I trust them? Point of view? Or is it just a misunderstanding sometimes? Understanding why the other person is acting in this way helps us maintain our composure and prevent feelings of anger. Once you understand the trap, the next crucial step is to avoid falling. Stoicism tells us to step back and look at things objectively. When you distort your words, feelings from external events emerge. Instead of becoming angry or defensive, a quiet person carefully declines the request, trap, and restate what they meant to say. Imagine you're in a meeting. When you advocate for the company to allocate more funds toward environmentally friendly projects, you may encounter opposition. We should halt all other projects and allocate all our funds to this one. This technique involves making statements rather than responding to them. Respond quietly. No, I'm suggesting we put more money into sustainability. And this means that the company can allocate resources to other projects without abandoning them. Take more care to maximize the impact of your original work. My opinion is that you control the conversation and point out their foolishness. Rather than simply responding to what others say, consider asking questions. Can also turn things around, letting you control the talk without. Their feelings influence you when you ask them a question. Not only should we use common sense, but also practice calmness and steadiness, which can help the other person see that their view is wrong. Another important question you could use, that's not what I meant. Could you explain how you got that? That way, this question not only clears things up, but it also shows respect for the other person's point of view, which forces them to face the errors in their own. The idea that inner strength is a core Stoic trait is present in intense events. You can choose how to respond. Don't be protective or lose your cool just because someone is bothering you. You can stay calm. Instead of replying, be sure and firm when explaining your goals. When someone irritates them, a Stoic thinks about what they really mean and responds gently. This is done so that others can see their ease and clarity. This is how we learn to understand what you're saying. With real strength, Stoics will often think about the purpose of talking. If you want to build a lasting friendship or make a contribution, contribute positively to the discussion about whether it's worth it to fight or protect against misunderstandings are easier to overcome once you focus on the larger goal. Instead of becoming emotionally invested in similar cases, consider the following. The goal of this conversation is to determine whether a strong response is worth it. Epictetus widely said, if someone can demonstrate that your mind is engaged cause, in your mind, someone can make you mad. Freely took part in their offense. So when they faced the "you're telling me to remember these Stoic ideals when I hear the word trap," maintain a clear and firm stance, and above all, keep your inner peace. By living by these ideals, you not only keep yourself safe, but you also help others. The other person might consider how foolish they are, potentially leading to a change in their perspective and feelings. Third regret. Not being able to handle the flood of questions after learning how illusions and hidden meanings can mislead us. Question complex issues that are filled with opposing viewpoints, meant to make us lose control. This is where the smash comes in, a subtle strategy in which someone puts things that don't go together or are at odds with each other into single question, which leaves us confused and open to harm, and sometimes even leads us. While it's easy to agree with things that don't align with our views, Stoics are used to staying steady in any situation won't be straightforward with that much weight on it. When someone wants to put psychological pressure on others to do something, they often use the smash method. Their weakness leads them to frequently inquire about unrelated topics, parts that are meant to confuse and distract, making it easy for the responder may lose control of the conversation and become entangled in a series of questions they are unwilling to answer. Answer. To stop this, we need to maintain our composure, be determined, and be able to break through. If someone asks you a challenging question, break it down into its component parts without becoming upset. What matters is how we answer the question, not its difficulty. Reacting to a person who knows themselves well and sticks to their values won't make it simple for others to control their thoughts. Instead, they will set each other apart. In the question, clearly state what they agree with and what they disagree with. They don't want to say things like, imagine you're in a meeting and the question is whether you truly believe the business should change the entire product plan. This is a classic example of meeting a small customer need. Technique. This question mixes 2 points. How can we significantly alter the product plan? Shift and dealing with a customer request that seems small. If you answer in a sneaky way, you end up agreeing without explicitly saying that the customer's request is small. The key is to clearly outline the pros and cons of changing the product plan and address any potential risks involved in making such a significant shift. Request isn't important. The Stoic way to deal with this would be to back a big change just to meet a few requests. Remember to calm down and not let your feelings get the best of you. The Stoic would answer the question. The idea to alter the product plan is divided into 2 parts. Consider the value of what the customer wants instead of moving quickly. Could say, I think we need to carefully consider any choice to, if a customer asks me to change the product plan, I will. I think each one has its own value. It's up to us to think about how to best serve their general needs. This way, you won't have to agree with them when they say the customer's request is small, and be clear about your position. One smart way to avoid the bash question trick is to, before you answer, take a moment to ask yourself, is this true for me? If you really agree with every part of the question, you won't avoid becoming engrossed in the narrative of others and maintain focus on your own. Do you truly believe that it's acceptable to ignore someone who asks you? Take all the risks just to save money, and you might see this right away as a smash hit. Instead of making a snap decision, ask yourself, do I agree with? By focusing solely on the cost and avoiding any potential risks, you can answer. I believe that controlling risks is important and shouldn't be ignored. We need to consider how to make money without sacrificing anything. This response considers your personal perspective while avoiding the pitfalls. In a world where conversations are often competitive, edge. You can use the smash method in both your professional and personal lives, but if you possess inner strength and can break down questions into their constituent parts, you can achieve this. Change the subject, stick to your point of view, and use your calm to your advantage. Stoicism not only teaches us how to keep our peace, but it also shows us we can handle anything as long as we keep our thoughts and actions in check. We should never give up before we continue. Thank you if you've made it this far, we've reached the halfway point of our journey. By now, you should have discovered calm ways to deal with anger. I hope you've gained. Here are some helpful strategies to maintain composure and clear thinking during challenging situations. In the next section, we will discuss the 4th method, which is a crucial step. There is a method in Stoic thought for sticking to the truth and not changing it. From other people's perspectives, this idea boosts your confidence, respects yourself and the other person, which leads to true. And number 4, have a positive conversation and tell the truth. That you don't build a false enemy. When someone is rude or angry, it's simple to slip into the trap of distorting their argument to appear as though you agree with them. While it may be simpler to refute, a Stoic would never endorse this straw man approach. A sanitized, wrong picture of the other person's point of view just to win this Stoic concept originates from a profound understanding. Honesty. A Stoic doesn't have to hurt someone else's feelings to feel good or win. Instead, they don't need to. Always try to be honest and keep the conversation's integrity. When someone talks to you in an upset way, it's straightforward to want to attack their words or twist them. What they mean, especially when we feel threatened or offended, but for a Stoic, the to respond, stay cool, and try to figure out what the other person really wants. From my perspective, This typically entails asking them to elaborate on their argument to ensure clarity. This method ensures that nothing important is missed. They maintain their composure and demonstrate their concern for the truth. Stoics know that in order to act properly and correctly, they must really understand. Imagine yourself in a tense meeting where the other person is trying to convey something to you. And a co-worker says, "I think your project is too hard and will waste." With the right tools, it would be easy to respond, "Are you telling me I can't handle things?" Right way, but a Stoic would react differently. Someone might ask, "Do you mean I should make the project easier to lower the risk?" This question demonstrates your attentive listening skills and ensures that you comprehend their genuine concerns, thereby preventing any misunderstandings. When attacked, many people twist the other side in arguments to defend their point of view. Using the words of another person makes it easier to make strong points. They believe they have triumphed, yet Stoicism imparts that knowledge. Stoics believe that wins are hollow and don't show what the real point of the argument is. Being honest and communicating with each other is a sign of good moral character, not they are putting others down to get what they want, trying to win over their own urges. The desire to alter reality in order to achieve happiness can be overwhelming. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best to get revenge is to be unlike the person who hurt you." This quote reminds us of how a Stoic keeps their cool. If someone twists your words to attack you, you have no reason to defend yourself. Instead of retaliating, maintain your composure and discuss what they actually said. If you believe that you are superior to their actions, consider this alternative scenario. When a close friend unexpectedly criticizes your decision-making at work, you feel hurt and want to reply by changing their words that come up, making you think I'm careless. But if you follow the Stoic way of life, you might ask for, "To be clear, are you saying that there are things I could do differently to handle this question better?" It calms things down and makes room for an honest and helpful conversation. Conversationally, paying close attention to what other people say can often offer useful information. If you only focus on arguing against Stoics, you might miss some intriguing points of view and ideas. To live a joyful life, you should never lie to yourself or others. Conversation and not making other people's words into an easy, beaten version just to get an edge. This isn't just about respecting for others, it's a commitment to be truthful in all your words and actions. When we alter the opinions of others, whether through a friendly conversation or a heated dispute, our arguments and Stoicism deceive us about their veracity. Being honest with yourself is the most important thing. Stay cool and be honest. By seeing things from the other person's point of view, you become the real winner. Not because you beat them, but because you resisted the urge to change the truth to fit your own needs. Marcus Aurelius said, "Don't waste time arguing about what a good man should be." Honoring the truth and the dignity of others makes you one. You are the heart of Stoicism. This is how Stoics deal with anger, not through argument, but through calm respect. And integrity and honesty are the traits that define their character. The best way to achieve victory number 5 is to use pictures, to say something important. In Stoic, the power of words. It depends on more than just their persuasive writing or sharp thinking. It also depends on how well they can show kindness and understanding. Using bright colors is one of the best ways to achieve subtlety. Using images to make difficult ideas easier to understand, this method not only serves as an effective method of communication, but also demonstrates a caring desire to convey ideas clearly. Allowing the other person to deeply understand and connect without feeling too much is crucial. By abstract knowledge, picture yourself in a setting where someone is rude, or tough words that make the situation tense and awkward. Instead of rushing to try being stoic and responding with a simple "but," the image is evocative, relieving stress and stimulating thought. When we use images in our writing, our words not only hit home more deeply, but also help the listener see, understand, and this method uses introspection to help the other person understand without dominating. Complex theory says that if someone criticizes something in a mean way, you could use the picture of a moving river to show Coney the Stoic principle of acceptance. Things are out of their control. If you try to stop a river with your anger, it only makes it stronger. You don't want it to flow, but if you let it, you'll see that it will find its own way. This phrase not only shows the Stoic idea of understanding the things we can't change and giving someone a simple picture that helps them see their anger in a new way. From a Stoic perspective, we should never allow others to see the truth. As a sign of power, when it should be a statement of kindness, when we use real images, we're not making the smarter person less smart. We're giving them an easy way to gain insight with this method, but it moves them away from a defense position and pushes people to think about it. Self-awareness. Visualize a wise old man like Sen who understood that some people couldn't. He often used simple words so that people could understand deep ideas right away. You might be wondering, why not answer straight? Why not? To get to a higher level of wisdom. A Stoic would immediately point out that ego frequently causes direct responses. There is a need to show that they are better, but when you use images, images can help you lose resistance and engage. Demonstrate the absurdity of someone's actions. For instance, there could be conflict if someone interprets your words negatively. Slant, you could tell them in a subtle way that words are like a mirror. They serve as a mirror reflecting what you put into them. If you perceive anger in them, it could indicate that you are also experiencing anger. What does this simple yet powerful image mean to you? Can help the other person see how wrong their view is without making them feel judged, which can lead to, I engage in natural self-reflection in this chaotic world. Using pictures to send texts helps keep things simple. Know that your words don't have to be weapons when you're under attack, but can act as a bridge if you can show a cool smile. By using images to convey ideas, the user is given room to think, and the image of a sail slowly capturing the wind is more than just a metaphor for peace, but also a call for others to join in through imagine that instead of forcing them to change, you are guiding them to a deeper level. Self-awareness when you're in front of someone who is. When people are angry, remind them that a simple but powerful picture can help them calm down. To gain a clearer understanding of the issue, consider asking yourself argumentative words. Could you paint a picture that makes people want to? Self-imagery serves as a tool not only for communication with others, but also for be kind and patient, because conversation isn't about that in the end. It's not about winning or losing, but about the word and how it sounds to people. For the listener, you offer Stoic advice in a way that is clear and simple to understand. Both simple and strong, it allows the other person to start their own journey. Number 6 of the mental journey shows that I have already agreed with you, even after using colorful language to make my point. Subtle messages lead us to the final approach, an elegant and deeply Stoic approach. Technique. This technique lets you gently help the other person see that they may have already shared your point of view from the start without, even though they knew it, they didn't get into a heated debate or try to change their minds. Because of what they do and say, you're just pointing out that by stating the same values, this method not only possible strife, not only encourages real connection, but also makes things more important. Stoics understand that actions often convey more meaning than words in communication. Someone attacks, questions, or challenges the way you act. Epictetus reportedly said, "What we believe or value, both of you share." Now we can listen twice as much as we talk because we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. The Stoic philosophers said that listening is more than just knowing words. explaining their actions by showing that the other person is, by acting on a concept they believe in. The Stoic makes a natural, not by persuasion, but by showing what people have in common. For example, let's imagine that you and a coworker are having a disagreement about setting project goals. The coworker says that the way things are done now is too strict, but it also stresses how important doing your work on time, instead of coming up with sharp counterpoints. You could say that by wanting freedom, they're also showing that they care about quality and following the rules. This shifts the conversation from conflict to unity because you both know what's important. The agreement that may have been there the whole time. Stoics know that if you want to help other people find common ground, be gentle. Suppose you're talking to a friend who is traditional and who is, you should be open to a new idea you've put forward instead of fighting to prove it. You could ask, do you think that not agreeing with this idea is your fault? Way to uphold the values we both value, this question not only shows belief in them, but ask them to find the things you have in common with them. It teaches us to keep talks light, friendly, and helpful. When you show someone that what they're doing is in line with your values, the conversation changes from an attack to a dialogue. Turn your counterattack into an investigation of truth, for example. If you're talking about, I am having a conversation about money with a family member who enjoys saving but believes that other things hold greater importance. More importantly, you could tell them that their decision to spend carefully fits with a point of view that you both value instead of making things worse. You steer the conversation toward agreed-upon ideals, which strengthens the bond between the two sides. Instead of sticking to your point of view, you could say really to help people understand. You're simply contemplating the future, just as I do. This not only, it's evident that you both share similar perspectives on future planning. This also helps to maintain a calm and positive atmosphere during the discussion. Stoic philosophy tells us to try to stay cool, not to avoid problems, but to show each other a truth you both know, the person might not have known. For instance, consider a scenario where a colleague criticizes your strict policies. Step-by-step method. Instead of defending or describing, you could ask, so do you also? I agree that keeping quality high is our main goal. This soft but powerful question helps them see that you have something in common. Concern for quality transforms the topic from being negative. To work together, Stoics don't try to win arguments, that's not their goal. Lead, but allow others to discover the truth when you assist them in seeing it. They already agree with you in some way, you're not just convincing them. By helping others see what they've done, you're leading them to a new understanding they might not have had before. I have been aligned with you from the beginning, as you provide access to a fresh perspective. That's the art of high-level communication. Both sides can embrace without getting hurt or angry. Stoics try to communicate without using words to force others, but by telling the truth. Remember that when you're with someone who is mean, the truth can sometimes already be revealed. All you need to do is assist them in seeing it clearly. Stoic thought is based on sensitivity. Use your patience to steer the discussion toward peace. Life will always put us in situations that we need to understand instead of fighting them. Facing tough situations with people who may want to control or even challenge us, but these 6 tools in your hands are more than just sharp. Speaking skills, but also a way of life, based on the calm strength of Stoicism. This is a journey of learning to handle your own feelings and turn problems into opportunities. Every word you speak and every move you take becomes, and this is a demonstration of inner strength, a kind of strength that doesn't need to scream to be seen, but quiet comes from a place of peace and knowing which method to use, which ones resonated with you the most. Perhaps you've been in a situation where these ideas could have been beneficial. Don't be shy about leaving a message with your thoughts. I'd love to hear your story if you have one. Click the like button if what you've learned today has made you feel calm or given you new ideas. Send these positive vibes to other people and don't forget to join. Let people know that this information is useful and that someone you care about might need it. They need to hear these words too, so send them this video. Thank you for the unexpected gift of support they need, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. An inspirational trip